Just yesterday, we were talking about what a horrible idea it is to store pictures of driver's licenses and other things on company servers. I mean, that's just a bad idea. We're talking about ID verification online and whatnot, and how if you store that data, that much personal data on corporate servers, you're just begging for it to be hacked. Well, lo and behold, the T app, an online dating app marketed as a dating tool that protects women. I'm not going to get into how much that is an understatement of what this app does. This app is kind of skeevy and gross, but we'll just move on from that. The T app has been hacked and a lot of data has been exposed. An extreme amount of data. And this is not the first major breach this year, and it certainly won't be the last. Now, this particular hack was first published over on 4chan, of course. And the hack of the T app wasn't even really much of a hack. The developers of the T app apparently simply left the user data open for the world to download at their leisure. And T-App was becoming pretty doggone popular, which means that roughly 60 gigabytes of user data was made available before the developers realized it and finally thought about locking things down. One 4chan user said it had no security at all, and then posted a magnet torrent link for people to download the 59.3 gigabyte file. Holy heavens. Now, what kinds of data was made publicly available because of this, right? Because presumably the developers simply didn't think about security all that much. What was made available from the T app? Well, selfies. Driver's license pictures, literally pictures of ladies' driver's licenses, all manner of private information, which will no doubt be exploited by unscrupulous types over the days to come. I mean, a huge amount of data. I mean, so much data. And what's even worse, oh my word, metadata appears to have been preserved on uploaded photos, meaning that many of the user's selfies, including location data, in addition to the address on the driver's license, which said unscrupulous types have already begun using to create maps of users of the T app. Oh my word. Oh, I'm telling you guys right now, I mean, the developers behind this app just did not think things through from a security standpoint. They left things wide open. They were holding on to pictures of driver's licenses. That's crazy. They were preserving metadata. Oh my heavens. That just so much. Now, the developers of T-App have put out a statement which says that 59,000 images used for account verifications were made available. Assumedly, that's mostly government ID, which from everything I can gather, that's what it was, which would already be by itself catastrophic. However, a quick look at the details of the data, including the file size alone, would suggest that the number could actually be much, much larger than they said. Here's the full statement from the developers. From the Tea Party Girls. Hey, heart teapot emoji. We always want this space to feel safe, honest, and supportive. So here's what we need you to know. First off, please know that if you sign up for Tea after 2023, all your data is secure. We recently discovered unauthorized access to an old archived system that stored about 72,000 user-submitted images, including approximately 13,000 images of selfies and photo identification submitted during account verification and 59,000 images publicly viewable in the app from post. Oh, so sorry. So it's 13,000 images of ID verification. Comments and direct messages from over 2 years ago. This data was stored to meet law enforcement standards around cyberbullying prevention. Not quite. We've acted fast. Our team and trusted security experts are working around the clock. At this time, we have no evidence that any current or additional data was accessed. Additionally, please note that these photos can in no way be linked to posts within T. If you have questions, reach out at any time at tforwomen.com. Your safety and privacy are everything to us. We're here, we're listening, and we're taking every step to protect this community now and always. Thank you for your patience and trust. Based on what I'm seeing and what I'm reading, that looks a little bit not honest-y. It seems like it was a lot of fairly recent data, and it seems like the number was much, much larger than they said, and it seems like they just didn't protect things. Right. Which brings us to a very important lesson, which we as humans never seem to learn. If user data is stored, it will get hacked. It's simply a matter of time. There are currently close to 15 billion, with a B, billion, accounts listed on haveibeenpwned.com. And those are simply from hacks and breaches which were reported to that one website. 15 billion. And the reality is the vast majority of hacks and data breaches are never made publicly known, either by the people doing the hacking or by the company or government which got hacked. Most of the times when it's found out about, it's kept secret. Trust me on that one. As systems continue to grow ever more complex and interconnected, and more systems become AI developed, vibe coded, these hacks and breaches become easier and easier to pull off. That's just the reality. I mean, shoot, I've already seen many people talking about like this T app as being a very vibe coded type app. I don't know if it is or not, but that's what I keep hearing, and honestly, I wouldn't doubt it considering how truly terrible the security was. If you combine all that, though, combine all the interconnectedness and the growing complexity, combine that with the ever-expanding quantity of data and the growing number of services that are storing it, and we are quickly reaching a point where everyone will have at least some of their data breached at some point. For some people, it will happen regularly, repeatedly. I mean, how many online accounts does each of us have? Start multiplying it all out, and we end up with an equation that says we're probably going to be involved in 27 some odd hacks every X amount of time. And those will just be the ones, the breaches and the hacks that we find out about. Now, the only way to minimize the damage of such hacks and breaches is to minimize the amount and type of data stored long-term by a service. It's the only way. If you need, let's say you run a service. Let's say you run X or YouTube or your own website. If you need pictures of government ID for age verification purposes, delete that picture immediately after verification. It's not hard. If you need payment and shipping information, delete all of it immediately after payment is processed and shipping is verified. If you need location data, GPS, IP, etc., delete it immediately once you are done with it. You get the point. Unless a piece of personal data is absolutely 100% necessary for whatever the purpose of your online service is, delete it, right? Use it for what it was needed for, because I get it. Sometimes you need certain data. You need credit card information. You need home addresses, shipping information. Sometimes you need tax records. Sometimes you need government ID. I get it. But once you don't need it anymore, delete it. It's hard for a hacker to obtain files that are not there. If you have data, it's at risk. If you don't have data, it's not at risk because you don't have it. Right? If the bank vault is empty, it doesn't matter if Bonnie and Clyde break into it. They're not getting any cash. That's the way to go with this. Now, of course, there's always scenarios where you have to have a certain amount of data stored. Obviously, there's a wide variety of encryption and hashing and various other approaches to try and make it as hard as possible to get what data there is out of your system. But the core of it is that it will always be breachable. It will always be hackable given enough time. So don't have the data if it's not needed. Because all of the various things, whether you're buying something online and getting it shipped to you, whether you're buying a subscription service or you're verifying your age with your government ID, all of those things require your own personal information to varying degrees, but they do not require the service to hold on to that data long term. Maybe for a minute. Maybe for a day, shoot, maybe even for a week or so. I get it. There could be usage for it. But once it is no longer needed, delete it. Gone. Done. And yeah, to the people who got, to this T app thing, yuck. The service and the app is gross and awful. But man, it is just one example of many of so many hacks and breaches that are happening out there, and they're going to continue to escalate. They're just going to continue to escalate. There's no way around it. Thank you to the Lunduke Journal subscribers for making this sort of coverage possible. Go to lunduke.com and click on a wide variety of links over there for how to read and listen and watch and interact with the Lunduke Journal and support the Lunduke Journal. I couldn't do any of this without you. You make this possible. No ads, no sponsorships from any corporations, no money taken from big tech whatsoever, so I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. And I can tell you the truth, which is kind of a unique thing. So thank you for making that possible at lunduke.com. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across the inner tubes, I do declare end broadcast.